Yeah.
Hey folks, this is Crash Clown here, and I've been thinking of doing a rant like this for some time now. And after watching BigAl 2K6 rant on rap music and hearing stuff from other people about it, I'm more determined to do this rant. Now, rap/hip hop is quite controversial, mainly due to the negative aspects that have caused it to come under heavy criticism from nearly everybody and everywhere in our society. And a majority are classifying rap/hip hop as violent, always talking about money, cars and houses, the degradation of women, endorsing the use of drugs, altogether ignorant stuff. However, to just classify hip hop to be just that is quite ignorant, as to say that rap music mostly deals with the worshipping of the devil. When I say ignorant, I don't mean negatively hating the genre, but practically not knowing much about it. Why I say that is because a lot of you ranters are basically talking about mainstream rap/hip hop, which is endorsed and placed on television networks such as MTV and BET, and also heard on the radio, with all the negative associations that come along with it. And trust me folks, you're not the only one who's tired of it. But despite all of that, I want to repeat, a lot of you ranters don't really know what's going on. What you're saying is just scratching the surface because it relates to what you see and hear. The essence, controversy, and somewhat confusion of rap/hip hop is more deeper than what you think it is. Much, much deeper. Now, if you want to speak about hip hop, you cannot overlook or deny the fact that it's a part of black culture. So of course, when something like that is associated with something deep as race, is more passionately affiliated, especially tracing back to origins, where hip-hop was mostly about social and political movements within the black community. Other than that, it was also about partying, having fun, and of course, self-expression. Throughout these times, the genre has transcended into different areas, and one of them was gangster rap. Now, let's pause for a second. In the case of gangster rap, just use your heads for a moment and ask yourself, why did something like that was ever created? It's not as if someone just got up one morning, cracked the shit out, and then just say, I hope someone smells it. No. One of the reasons why it was made is because stuff that was actually being said in the lyrics was happening in the streets and the ghetto. It was a reflection of what's going on at the time. And let's not say that the crime and violence culture was influenced by hip-hop. It's actually the other way around. All that stuff was there for a longer time, either written in history or seen in the media. And we know damn sure that artists from different genres of music were and still are doing devious activities when they aren't selling or making records or doing a concert. They even might get reported in the news or hear about their personal story in a documentary on VH1 or some other network. It's just that mostly rap artists kind of have the nerves to kind of put some of the stuff that they see in their songs. Now, as more music for hip hop was produced, the more commercialized and diverse it became, until negativity was the norm in the mainstream, which several upright fans of the genre thought it had lost its way. With all the stuff going on in hip hop, in mainstream hip hop, there have been folks like myself who still listen to the genre, who are getting tired of the generic stuff being done there, and the people who ignorantly rant based on it. Within the rap fan base, if you could call it that, there have been debates about what is the difference between rap and hip hop itself, is the genre actually dead, and so forth. And in the case of mainstream stuff, we always wonder, why isn't there anything creative being put out there? We know that gangster rapping and other crap is not what hip hop is based on. There are actually artists in the industry who are doing something different out there. Ask some true hip hop fans, and they will list at least 10 off their fingers of whom. A few of those artists will likely be Talib Kweli, Mos Def, Common, Dead Prez, KRS-One, Lupe Fiasco, The Roots, A Tribe Called Quest, among others. And it does not even stop there. There are others who are like underground or indie. Some that I mentioned in my tag video that from a long time ago, who are very creative, but unfortunately not being pushed or recognized out there in the mainstream because the standards for generic negativity is already set. The harsh and heavy criticism of rap slash hip hop have always been around, always. But I think personally it got heightened around the time of the Don Imus case, where he called the Rutgers women basketball team the term nappy-headed hoes, a term that is sometimes heard in rap dialogue. It ignited a big commotion about racism and sexism, and then eventually went back to rap itself. It got so bad that BT then had a program where rap artists and prominent black figures had a debate, and it was called Hip Hop versus America. And no, it's not just a case of, oh my Jesus, we must save the music. No, okay? They were actually talking about issues within the genre and that part of the industry. And I actually learned a lot of things from the debate, more than I thought I knew about hip hop. Also, I noticed that through it, no matter how many topics that they could bring up about the genre, it mostly relates back to issues within the black community. Things that range from how African Americans look and treat each other to where the roots of that cause degradation of the black woman. So yeah, I did learn a lot from it, especially from a guy on the panel named Dr. Eric Dyson. And after all the crap that I hear left and right from people who are doing their rants on the internet nowadays, I don't recommend, but I insist that people watch it and gather some knowledge, alright? Now, let me just get back and state some of my thoughts on the rap artists these days. I hate artists who either rap about things that they probably would not do or encourage anyone to do. For example, I somewhat understand the concept of gangster rap as a reflection of what's going on in the street. But I can't stand that when some of these artists get called out on it, their excuse is, I'm just reporting. Well, if you have lyrics of you doing half the action, you're not reporting. You're stating your activities as a participant. So what the hell? What kind of message are you trying to put out there? And honestly, what is the deal with constantly bragging of the things you own and calling it living big? Like, if you're you think that you're actually successful. The reality of the case is that they're just puppets used by the companies or the record labels to sell dirt to make money. It's especially worse on them if these artists don't act accordingly either to law or certain morals of society and the demands of the companies that endorse these bitches. They will soon be forgotten like yesterday's news. But then again, this is an industry where your soul and how high you're selling it for is required along with the contract. Even so, I still think that artists should pick up whatever integrity is left and stand up to these companies stating where they truly stand.